All right, folks, this is part 2 of how accurate are bench press estimators 1 rep max with the Slingshot or Chinese copy. So I hate to tell you this, I didn't necessarily follow this like I thought I would, but we did get a 1 rep max for the most part. Whether it was a true 1 rep max is another story. I honestly felt like I had more in me, but I did a lot of freaking reps before I got to this point. So it took its toll on me. And where my body is really well conditioned for decline, it is not as well conditioned for flat. Even using the bench sling, I felt my left shoulder felt a little awkward. I couldn't get a good setup. Now I probably should put more than one video up of this. This is just looking overhead, but looking at my setup, we have the Cybex bench like I discussed. We have the Cap Eco bar, Olympic bar. We've got this is probably a standard plate VTX and a Cap 25 on here. So this was the 275. Now, part of the problem is lining that bench up, and having this distance here was what I discussed. I can't remember if that's called a hub, but the hub to the pin or the outside of this, you want that to look the same on both sides, right? And if the bench is centered and you sit on the bench centered, then you're off to a great start when you lift those arms up. That bar is a lot harder to figure out where the knurling marks or whatever they're called are. And so that made it a little difficult. But eventually this guy is going to do some bench pressing. Maybe if we try and fast forward a little bit. Yep. Up there he is. All right, so here's 275. And I can already tell, I'm like, feels all right. But then I'm like, at least on this weight, I could have did a bunch more reps. I think I stopped at 8. All right. So if I even did that, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be like the video I thought was going to go down. So let's just say I did 8 reps, and I didn't really push myself, but I never really got warmed up good yesterday during the early parts of this, right? All right, so we'll put 295 on, and this was a wake-up call, folks. This thing, 295 felt damn heavy. Oh, here I am. Sorry, we got to back up a little. This isn't as good as using the raw file. I don't know why I'm using YouTube, because I'm going to have to, it's going to show that I have a copyright against myself or something. All right, so we got, we added 2 10-pound cap plates. And you can just see that 20 pounds is I think I did 7. I should count instead of talking, right? It'd help if I put a rep counter in the videos. So yeah, it looked heavier, it felt heavier, and the reality is 1, 2, only 6. So it's amazing to me looking at this video going, wow. I, used to have well over 300 on the bar doing 8, 10, whatever reps. And now here we are, an older man, mature man, whatever. And that shit is heavy as you know what. Oh, so like I was saying, didn't never like my setup. We had to drop the pin down one more. I keep saying we. I had dropped the pin down because it was just too high. Whenever you're like just pushing a little extra out of your shoulder, to get that thing up over the pin, you know you're off to a bad start and you're probably going to fuck your shoulder up. So, during this video, folks, it's almost like I did a try-on haul. We're wearing this shirt that's available on Amazon. There's a different shirt I wear that's available on Amazon. Hopefully I'll have the links down below in this video if you watch the whole thing. Yeah, I had to try and figure out how to make some extra money. All right. So now we're loading up. We're putting 315 on here. And then, folks, this is when it starts to feel a lot heavier. Oddly, on the decline, maybe it's because I'm pretty conditioned, I do not feel like 315's that heavy. But in this thing, I was like, damn, I might be maxed out. And, funny thing is, there's the huge numbers I did when I was in my mid-30s. Then there are the numbers I did. I was in Hawaii, and I entered we'll call it a bench press competition, but it wasn't. It was like went on for weeks, right? So you would just drag one of the trainers over. Hey, I want to max out on the bench, and so, sadly, there would be some males, and every time I wanted to do it, there was just a female. So I'm like, hey, do you feel comfortable spotting me? Oh, sure. And so, I either did 350 or 360 without a bench sling and all that stuff. So here it is, 2.5 years later. I guess it's actually, it's more like 3 years later now. And it's just the way it goes. Can't do that. Can't move that kind of weight without a training aid. All right, so we got 315 on there. I'm probably yapping away, trying to get my videos watch time up. And any of those of you that are trying to monetize the channel, you understand that. All right, so then we got our little towel there to help protect my little chest and my baby chest. So here I'm looking at my hands, and I'm like, I don't know about this. Drop the weight down. You can tell it did not feel right. Why did it not feel right? Oh, look at the hands. One of them's off. All right. So that's pretty sad. 315. Now, I don't think I do another one of these weights. Maybe I do. Let's see. So I'm talking to myself. La, 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 la. Now, we are in the power cage. We got the spotter racks. This looks like I added 5 pounds, folks, so that's not even on the chart. So we'll have to add a column, I guess. And in this one we have the Mark Bell. I think I alternated Mad Dog. So when I start hitting the creatine, if I ever do again, you'll be like, oh, wow, okay, now I understand why he has the Mark Bell Mad Dog versus the level 2, maybe level 3. This is the level 4 or 5, whichever their highest one is. That's what we use in this video. And it's not the ideal one for where my strength is at the moment, but I don't have enough money to go buy a bunch of different ones, so we've got that. I say that I have 3. Oh gosh, 2 black, a gray, a red. So I have 4 cheap Chinese knockoffs. All right, and somewhere in this video you'll see my favorite Chinese knockoff. I should probably need to remember to buy another one just to have it. All right, so here we go. 325, 1, and done. Okay. So I'm not sure why. really sure why I didn't just put the actual on there. Or I could replace the 335. But I'm going to say NA on there. We did not attempt that one. And then we never estimated how many we could do of that. Yeah, I could have did more reps, right? But I think at this point I was just like, let me feel this out. So I think we go 335. That's a 10-pounder. I should like my own video, right? Definitely. All right, so we're buying time. Recovering. Now, of course, not having a spotter doesn't really allow you to get in perfect position. You know, having somebody hand you the weight, once you get yourself, locked in, ready. And I think this is the cheap Chinese knockoff, okay? So this one's really hard to set yourself up good with, but so we got 335. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually did do that one. One repped it. This one this is where we probably could put a question mark. So where do we go next, folks? I think, we actually go 345. Or do we? I could have sworn I just said screw it. Let's do 355. So the weight is, it felt heavy once I got 315. Now it feels the same, oddly enough. Okay, here we go. 345, which is not on the thing. Boom. Drove that up. No problem, right? That even looked better than the last one. That's one strong motherfucker right there, folks. Just remember that. Actually, hopefully I'll get back to some real strength. The thing is, many of you might not know this. When you've achieved something and now you're like, lesser than you were, I guess. You kind of start to take that all in, and it's not as motivating. As it would be if I was, back to where I was. Even if I was plateaued. If I just had that strength back from when I was younger. All right, 355. Boom! Drives that up. Now you can see the bench sling helps a hell of a lot more on the bottom, right? It provides no assistance on the top end. Not at all. All right, and so we said, screw it. Let's go 375. This is what I was estimating my 1 rep max with the bench sling was going to be. It was like, I think it was last year. So I don't know if I'm messing with the pegs. Thing that sucks about this, the pegs really kind of fuck you up. The bench sling really, honestly, it loads up a bit. If you really wanted to cheat with the bench sling, you're really going to want to bounce it off your chest because it's going to really load up and slingshot it back up a little bit. And if you have strong enough triceps, once it, you'll keep that weight moving. But In this case, can't wait to see this. I don't even think I've watched this yet. Okay, here we go. So this is, you know, my arm somewhat 45 off the body. When it comes down, boom. So I didn't really feel like I got a whole lot of slingshot. That was just all goddamn arm strength, folks. Getting that shit up. So there you go. 1 rep max. Boom. Could we got 2? It's questionable. With a spotter and honestly not using the damn spotter bars. It's possible. I think I would have looked stronger on the first rep if it wasn't for that bar. Because once you hit the bar, it's like, oh, come on. So, you know, looking at that video, I'm like, well, I have attempted 380 there, we would have got it. I have no doubt, right? Could I have got 385? I don't know. I have those incremental weights. Maybe in the future we'll try incremental weights and just see. I will say a year ago I tried 405 on the flat. Now where I can easily do it on the decline at that time, this was with creatine, I could not get 405. And that was disheartening because I figured, you know, what I was doing on the decline, I'm like, shit, I should destroy this. Should have no problem, but no. All right, so here is this shitty bench that I've been wanting to destroy. I got it for $80. My other channels, the monetization has paid for it, which is pretty cool. I'm actually making a profit off of it. So if you're watching those videos, it's pure profit now. But I'm going to put 315, 325 on here. And you see where these posts are much more difficult to bench press with this. And the mere fact that I just shoot right up to, I shoot up right to 315. I don't even say, you know, let's try 320, or not 320. Let's try 225, 275. I'm like, I'm warm. Now, this is cheaply made. This is highly dangerous. Not one of my more intelligent things. We have the spotter bars. If the bench were to collapse, you know, I felt like, well, I'll be safe, right? But these posts barely can handle it. This one, hard to see it, but this thing's leaning this way. And I'm still stupid enough to lift with it. Now, if I had a spotter, or I had somebody to hand me the weight and spotters, there's no doubt it could have handled more weight. So I put 325 on here. And I had such a hard time getting the weight off the rack. You know, you saw how easy it was to get off the other rack, which wasn't even that easy, but here we go. Here we go, 315. I'm straining to get this off. Like, what the hell? There we go. And boom. Oh, here we go. We do 3 reps with this. Huh. Maybe I should update this. So I come back, I do 3 reps, but now the real neat thing, I think, is when I put 325 on here. And this is the point where this bench really just can't handle it anymore. Something made some kind of noise. You won't hear it on this video, but I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? And it scared the shit out of me because I thought, maybe I'll do a little heavier. I don't even know. Is there a freaking... here we go. Struggling. I'll be struggling once again to get this weight off. So you have this room here to put your hands. And then this thing's in the way. And it's blocking me from getting back far. Wow. So see that? Something happens. That's not my body. There was plenty of power left. I do not know what happened there, but it was weird. So yeah, 325, 3 reps. No problem. But there you go, folks. Funny, I'm gonna put a /3 here because we did a second set with 3. I almost killed myself, but yeah, that we hit our actual guess with the slingshot for 1 rep max, but we did not hit any of the reps we were assuming we could hit. So it is what it is. Now, if I come back, in summary, it's all about conditioning, right? My body is conditioned to do this. My body is not conditioned to do this. You saw how awkward some of that looked for me. Sometimes it looked like it was no problem, but I've got to get my body conditioned back to be able to do these kind of numbers. And then you should see this go up if that was the goal. And it might be, because this is the only way I can max out is with the spotter bars. Or, collab video where I get some strong person to help me out. But hey, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you guys got something out of it. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.